Welcome everybody to my channel. I am Terrio Jenkins, and my channel is all about superhero fiction. And I have my own magical superhero universe, which is the Be Terrific Media Multiverse, I guess is what we'll start calling it. And today we are going to be listening to Angel Protocol, Volume 1, Chapter 1, The Rough Draft. Now, I am using Speechify, which is free as an add-on. What is this? So I do have Speechify itself, but you can only upload 5 files. And I guess if I really wanted to be diligent, I could just always put one in, take one out. But this plugin, I don't think it's called a plugin. What is this called? Um, anyway, it's integrated with my Google Docs. So I had Snoop Dogg reading, and I was just like, he reads like a computer. It doesn't sound smooth like some of the normal AI voices. So we're going to have, I believe her name is Jessica. She's going to be narrating. Her voice is a little more smoother. Doesn't sound as choppy as Snoop Dogg's, which is expected. It's a voice clone. Um, Now you want to hear me narrate it or my staff, that will be available on Patreon for our other exclusive series. I decided to do this so that I can also listen and make notes. So, and that's what this is all about. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's so that you can see the communication between me and the editor and also see kind of like how I go about editing as we try to discover our new like our work process as far as writing a book and getting art done. We know it works. We have Copycats Volume 1 that's basically done. It's our editing, revising process that we are trying to refine. So, yeah, let's jump into it.
Chapter 1. Jasmine's eyes fluttered open. The world spun around her, blurry and disorienting. A sharp pain pulsed in her head, making it hard to concentrate. Distant voices echoed in her ears, muffled, like they were coming from the end of a long tunnel. Her body felt heavy, unresponsive. Panic gripped her as she realized she couldn't move. Her arms were restrained. Something was holding her down too tightly. Her breathing quickened. She tried to call out, but her voice was barely a whisper. Where am I? What happened? The taste of their last meal still lingered faintly in her mouth. A strange comfort now blurred by fear, like it belonged to someone else's memory. No, Jasmine. Focus. She tried to shake her head, fighting through the fog pressing in on her. Her limbs refused to cooperate. Stay with us, said a calm, unfamiliar voice. It was cool and distant. As her vision slowly sharpened, Jasmine saw a woman standing above her. The woman's long dark hair framed a composed face. She wore a black robe draped over a white lab coat, an odd combination that unsettled Jasmine. Jasmine tugged against the restraints on her wrists. Fear surged, but she forced herself to breathe. Stay calm. Think. You've got this, she whispered under her breath. Who are you? Jasmine rasped, her voice rough and strained. Her throat was dry, her lips cracked. The woman smiled, but the smile didn't reach her eyes. You're in my lab. I saved you and your friends. Saved? The word rang hollow. Images of her friends surfaced, laughing, talking together. Where are they? Where are my friends? Jasmine asked, her voice rising, panic setting in. She tried to peer past the woman, but the room was too dim, too strange. The woman was silent for a moment. Her gaze felt clinical, cold. They're here too, she finally said. You'll see them soon. What is she doing to us? Jasmine tried to think. The restraints, the sterile atmosphere, the cold, hard table beneath her. Everything felt wrong. Just yesterday, they had been in Washington, D.C. at that cozy diner. They had been celebrating Omarian's birthday, and that moment had been full of warmth and laughter. Now it felt like a distant dream. Don't panic. She closed her eyes, steadying her breath. She tried to anchor herself in that last normal memory. The soft beeping of machines pulled her back. Her heart pounded as she looked again at the woman in the lab coat. The woman's earlier words echoed in her head. "Do you remember how you got here?" she asked. Flashback. The bullet, Washington, D.C., yesterday. The rich scent of warm food and coffee filled the air at the Bullet, a cozy diner tucked into a quiet corner of DC. The group was celebrating Omarian's birthday, and Jasmine felt genuinely happy. She had worked so hard to make this laughter, food, friends happen. Omarian, tall and broad-shouldered, had a warm smile as he dug into a plate of strawberry shortcake. His laughter was soft but infectious. "Thanks, guys," he said, voice thick with emotion. "I didn't think anyone would remember." Nas, seated between him and Shaggy, raised his glass and winked. "Of course, we remembered. We're like family." Jasmine beamed. "This is what it's all about." She had planned this trip down to the minute, making sure everyone could come together away from the pressure of their busy lives. Even so, her instinct to control kept her checking the time, mentally counting down until they needed to head to the evening sermon. "You all enjoying the trip?" she asked lightly, though there was a note of concern. "We've had a lot of sessions, but don't forget to breathe. Relax a little." Aaliyah, ever the aloof one, barely looked up as she snapped photos of her outfit for Instagram. "As long as you don't overload our schedules, I'll be fine." Jasmine gave her a tight smile, pushing down the flicker of frustration. Aaliyah was different, more distant than the rest. She loved fashion, and while Jasmine could appreciate it, Aaliyah's priorities always seemed somewhere else. Still, Jasmine respected her dedication to the music ministry. Aaliyah could always be counted on to sing. Shaggy leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, his usual unreadable expression on his face. "Relax, Jasmine. No one's coming for your clipboard. We all know you're in charge." Jasmine laughed, thankful for the tension break. "I'm not that bad," she said, though deep down she wasn't so sure. If she didn't keep things together, who would? Omarion smiled gently. "You've been the glue, Jasmine. You always look out for us." His words warmed her, but a quiet truth stirred beneath them. "I do this because I have to. It's who I am."
All right, so that's chapter one. So Angel Protocol is one of our series within the shared universe, and this group led by Jasmine are actually I won't share that part, but we have angels, Nephilims, and demons, and this is our inspirational superhero story, which is kind of like Touched by an Angel meets I don't want to say Guardians of the Galaxy that because they were criminals meets the Avengers, I guess you could say. That wasn't the ideal concept. I'm just, trying to relate it to you guys so that you guys understand. So it is going to be heavy in the Christian mythos. Um, Jasmine is our teen mom. But she's also kind of controlling, and that's her main flaw. Um, which we will explore throughout the novel. Aaliyah, I'm still working on Aaliyah's characterization. I gave her kind of like a fashionista thing to give her a little spunk, but um, most of the characters who were inspired by real life people, but taken to extremes. It, most of them are quiet individuals, and so trying to get that across with somebody who's a little more extroverted with Jasmine has been difficult. One of the things that I did not like about this chapter, so this is the second draft actually, And one of the things I didn't like is the time jumping. I did it after reading The Girl on the Train by I can't remember her name, but but I read that as part of the Save the Cat methodology. I believe that was of Why Done It, and I like how there's three main characters, but we see like the past and then we see the present, and I was kind of going for that vibe because the original concept, big concept, was that these five individuals, Jasmine, Aaliyah, Shaggy, Omarion, and Nas, were actually going to be fallen angels who happen to be human. So if you've seen the movie Dog One, kind of like that. But then I felt like I didn't want to be too controversial. As a Christian myself, I didn't want to have that smoke with some other Christian creators. I know no matter what I do, there's going to be some beef, but I think if I had a cast of characters who were fallen angels who are now trying to get back into heaven, I think I can see myself getting some stuff that I don't necessarily want to get. So and then I also kind of don't feel like that's where I wanted to go. I think it is an interesting concept, right? Um like what do you do if you are a fallen angel and you really are repenting? But I decided to go with a safer option, which is making them Nephilims, which I also did in the past and then went away from it. But I think that's the best way to tell this particular story. So, one of the things that we'll be working on as we go through this is making it more unified because this is based off my rough draft from 4 years ago. And I was writing that during NaNoWriMo. And for those of you that don't know NaNoWriMo is National Novel Writing Month, where you have 30 days to write a 50,000 word novel. So, so you can either plot it all out and then write it, or you can pants it, which just means you're just writing off the cuff. I was kind of doing a little bit of both. I had writing prompts for each one. I had a general idea. Again, the original idea was supposed to be like a mixture of the Born Identity meets Misery or Saw 2, as far as being trapped in the house. I think that's going to be one of the changes that I do make, um, is taking them from, because the like when I first came up with Angel Protocol, the story was about them escaping from this lab. And then I don't know where the Born Identity came in, but I was like, oh, it would be cool if they were fallen angels and they don't remember that they're fallen angels. And so since I'm getting rid of that, I think what we will work with is just the escaping from the lab story. And that means I'm looking at maybe changing out the flashbacks, taking out the flashbacks totally, or having the flashbacks be like the first couple chapters and then we get into the story. Um, so to do that, I'm actually thinking that a good movie with multiple characters, because the thing with Saw 2 is that you have the characters who are, in the deadly game with Jigsaw, but then you also have Donnie, is it Donnie? Donnie Wahlberg, who is looking for his son, who is one of the characters in the game, right? So there's two concurrent stories being told as one narrative, and I'm not doing that. My five characters are together. It's like Power Rangers. They're together all the time while they're trapped, and they're together before. So I have to do some some thinking, and that's what this podcast will be about. The journey of, because like I said, this is the second draft. This is me looking at the rough draft and fixing, working on their personalities a little more because the personalities are a little basic and trying to explore, expand upon that as well. So, yeah. So I hope you guys find that interesting. I'm going to try to make sure that we make these somewhat long so you guys can hear where I'm coming from as far as making the book. And again, this is there. I I think the most like there's balance in, well, I don't know because I took the flashback out, but this is supposed to be one of our action heavy series as well, and it's supposed to be violent, but that's it. Like I'm not gonna have a lot of cursing in here because again it is a Christian. This is probably the closest to a Christian fiction book that we have. And I do use Christian like Bible verses for the themes for all my stories. It's something that I'm still trying to train my staff on, um, to think of it, not as a verse, but like this is the theme that we're going for. So, but yeah, thank you guys for listening if you're listening to this on Spotify, and thank you for watching if you're watching this on YouTube. Again, we have our own magical superhero universe. You can check us out at beterrificmedia.com. You can also check the link in the video description that will take you to this particular chapter if you would like to read it for yourself. You can leave comments, tell us where you think this story should go. Um, and if you are watching this on or listening to this, excuse me, getting sick again. Um, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of new videos. We do we deliver one chapter a week for each series. We have 6 current ones right now, but I'm going to say as far as like the podcast, you can expect probably one podcast a week. Because I'm the one narrating or I'm the one doing this. So, but thank you guys for your support. You can also join our Patreon through our website, beterrificmedia.com. And we would like to thank our Patreons. We have 3 in the $45 tier. We have 3 in the silver tier, which is 15, and 2 in our $5 tier. This is Bronze. So you can go check those out. Patreon is our official podcast platform that sends the videos the podcast to Spotify. So thank you, Patreon, for your service. And thank you for our Patreon subscribers again. You guys are the reason why we are able to afford the the many tools that we use to deliver content now. So thank you guys again. And again, just check out beterrificmedia.com. Just visiting really helps out our numbers. And like I say, it only takes 5 seconds to like, comment, and subscribe. You can check us out on social media, Be Terrific Media. Um, X is a little different, but you still should be able to find us if you type in Be Terrific Media. You can also reach our Twitter through our website. So again, thank you guys for watching and listening, and I will be back with another chapter of Angel Protocol 1. Until next